For the longest time, the idea of a sustainable supply chain felt like something only the corporate giants could even think about. Well, that's just not true anymore. Today, we're going to open up the playbook that small brands are using to turn sustainability from a buzzword into a real, powerful competitive advantage.
So let's just bust that myth right now. The old story was that being sustainable meant you needed massive budgets and these super complex audits. The new reality, especially for startups, it's much simpler. It's about making conscious decisions that build authenticity with your customers. It's not about being perfect, it's about starting smart.
Okay, so where do you even begin? That's the big question, right? Well, we're going to start with your first tangible wins, the changes that are going to give you the biggest, most visible impact right from the get-go. And the most logical place to start is your packaging. Think about it. It's often the very first physical thing a customer touches from your brand. It's like your handshake, and that makes it the most visible, most immediate way to signal what you're all about.
The approach here is actually pretty straightforward. First, just choose better materials. That could be simple craft paper or even cool, innovative stuff like mushroom foam. Second, and this is so simple but so effective, just reduce the package size. It cuts down on materials, it cuts down on shipping weight, and that cuts down on emissions. And finally, turn that simpler, minimalist design into a marketing asset that really speaks for itself.
And here's the best part. You do not need a massive corporate contract to do this. There are companies out there like PackHelp, Eco-Enclose, and No Issue that actually specialize in custom, eco-friendly packaging for smaller brands. The tools are out there, and they're ready to use.
All right, so you've tackled packaging. What's next? Well, your next big win might literally be right in your own backyard. Reimagining your sourcing by partnering with local businesses is one of the most powerful things you can do. It immediately shortens transport routes, which immediately lowers your emissions.
And to make this super concrete, try this little exercise. Draw a circle on a map, about 100 to 200 kilometers, around your business. Who's inside that circle? This one simple action can uncover some amazing local partners you never knew you had, and help you build a supply chain that's way more resilient and has a much lower impact.
All right, so we've handled some of the physical stuff. Now let's get a little more strategic and talk about building smarter systems. And this is all about using data and partnerships, not just throwing a bigger budget at the problem.
And this is where we run into a really cool concept called Micro-ESG. Now don't let that acronym scare you. All it means is using simple data to make small, smart sustainability decisions. We're not talking about massive overhauls here. These are tiny shifts that, over time, compound to create some really significant change.
And again, you don't need some crazy expensive enterprise-level software for this. Tools like Carbon Fact, Plan A, and Greenlay are literally built for smaller brands. They can help you do things like calculate emissions from your shipping or your packaging, which then helps you make simple choices, like picking a supplier that's a little closer.
So data is one piece of the puzzle, right? The other equally important piece is your partnerships. The goal here shifts from just finding the cheapest supplier to finding a partner who actually shares your values, someone who can grow with you on this journey. But what do you actually ask them? Well, here are 3 super powerful questions you can start with. 1, what are your energy sources? 2, do you have any programs to reduce waste? And 3, how do you ensure fair labor standards? Seriously, their answers and just their willingness to even talk about this stuff will tell you everything you need to know.
Okay, so you've started making these awesome changes, but all that hard work doesn't mean much if nobody knows about it, right? So it's time for the crucial next step, telling your story. This is how you turn all that effort into a real brand advantage. And this really gets to a core truth about today's shoppers. They are smart. They value honesty about the journey way more than some hollow claim that you're perfect. Progress over perfection, always.
You know, the easiest way to kick this off? Just create a dedicated sustainability page on your website. This is your spot to be totally open about your material choices, your packaging decisions, and even what you're still working on for the future. This stuff builds immense trust.
So what does that actually look like? Well, let's take a small coffee brand. They can be totally upfront and say, hey, we use recyclable bags now, but we're testing compostable ones for 2026. They can name their certified co-ops. They can explain how they offset their shipping. It's simple, it's honest, and it is incredibly effective.
And as you're building out that story, you can start thinking about the next chapter, which is all about circularity. This is where you start designing your products to be reused, repaired, or recycled right from day one. You're basically planning for the end of your product's life before it even begins. So, we've covered the actions, we've covered the storytelling, now for the big finale. Let's tie this all together and look at the real competitive advantage this creates for your bottom line.
First off, all of these efforts, they aren't just operational improvements. They are a goldmine of authentic content. We're talking supplier interviews, behind-the-scenes stories about your packaging, your community impact. This is the stuff that humanizes your brand and attracts that modern, conscious consumer.
And this isn't just some feel-good idea. The impact is real and it's directly measurable. E-commerce platforms like Amazon and Shopify are actively rewarding sustainable brands with special tags. Just look at this. A product listing with a climate pledge or sustainable tag gets a direct visibility boost. This isn't just about values. This is about getting seen and driving sales. And really, this is what it all boils down to. This is the big idea of this whole explainer. Sustainability isn't just another cost on a spreadsheet that you have to manage. It's a mindset that should be woven into every single decision your business makes.
Here's a really powerful way to think about it. See sustainability as your silent co-founder. It's this strategic partner working behind the scenes, helping you reduce waste, strengthen your partnerships, and build some fierce brand loyalty with customers who truly believe in what you stand for. So, the takeaway here is pretty clear, right? The future of great brands won't be measured just by their growth, but by how they grow. So, I'll leave you with this one question. What's your first conscious decision going to be?